is it possible to make music in a genre that does not yet exist? And without hesitation, I said, of course it is. And he said, really? Like he was all excited. And I said, yeah, give me a week to sit with it and I'll do it.
Hello and welcome to the Crazy Angels podcast. Today again with Pascal Dennis and David Logan. Hi guys.
Hello.
How y'all doing?
Today we are going to talk about a specific topic, and the topic is how to live a dignified life as a creative or as a musician in the age of AI.
We haven't heard from Levi though, and your
Yeah.
insights are always so useful. What do you think? Your impressions, Levi?
Well, I can talk from a pretty interesting perspective, maybe because Um, I am quite young, and I was thrown into this new world of the let's call them potential to be an artist in today's age, which has changed tremendously because of AI. And I started by studying sound engineering actually instead of composing or music production. I studied sound engineering because I knew it's not going to be easy, to go all in and have no backup plan. So yeah, I did this, and through school, through David, who was my teacher, he brought me into the team of the Crazy Angels, and I was a student and I was looking for extra opportunities for work, and this is how I could support this music project. So, I used some skills which I acquired while I was trying to,
Mhm.
make some money as an artist. I had my own YouTube channel, I sold my music online for licensing, and
Mhm.
I learned skills that way, new skills like video editing, graphic
Yeah.
design, and it's kind of interesting how it just organically happens. It has to happen, or you're gonna immediately, meet an obstacle where you say, I cannot sustain doing this, So it's interesting how we have to learn these new skills, like you say, Pascal,
Yeah.
which are completely unrelated to music. So
Yeah.
to be honest, it's a big pressure, I think, for many
Yeah.
new artists, no matter their age, just get
It,
trying to get started. It's
if
big
if I could
pressure.
just add, if I could just add, build on your point, what I really like about how Levi has expressed that and how you work is that you're using technology, right? Our first point is we have to embrace technology. You're using technology, and I know that in the months and years to come, you'll use AI agents to make better videos and to do some of the marketing and to do some of the design. So artists will succeed who have projects like an enterprise, like the Crazy Angels Enterprise, and use AI to do things better and quicker, and get fantastic content, songs, videos to an audience that we understand and connect with. So that's where the first point, embracing technology, is so important. You become ambidextrous the way you're doing, Levi, and your videos just get better and better and better, and your
Yeah,
audio gets better and better.
thank you.
And I think you're expressing the concept of ambidexterity, and you're a model, I think, for young creators, you know?
Yes, yes. And the most impactful, new thing I learned in this project was the idea of how you have to really define who you are targeting with your music. You have to kind of
Yeah.
imagine a persona
Mhm.
which matches your own emotions, and things you want to express with your music. And in the past, I guess more creatives had other people who they hired to do this. And now, we become marketers as artists.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it's really satisfying when you make that connection. So we have an audience we call Suzanne. and we won't go into the details, but when we connect with Suzanne, the feedback, I love the song. You really, really spoke to me. I listened to this over and over again. I love you guys, that's
Yeah.
really gratifying when you connect with people like that.
We love
That's
you too, Suzanne. We love
we
you
love you
too.
too,
Yeah.
Suzanne, and we've got others, Clint,
Johnny.
Southside Johnny.
And just to elaborate on this for the audience who's listening and saying, "What? Suzanne, Clint, Johnny, who are these people?" They're not individuals. They're names we give to the demographics of our audience that we care about, and that we think are important to hear from, and the people we want to support, right? That need support. And so just to give people like, who's Johnny, Suzanne, and who's Clint? Like, who are these people? Like, they're not people. They're representative of ideas of demographics that we care very much to communicate with, right? So
Yeah, yeah.
yeah.
And this is
Yeah.
part of marketing, understanding marketing and promotion at a deeper level. And authenticity again is the key. We're not going to connect with our audience by giving them, shallow garbage. That's not who we are. The crazy angels are not. We're about authenticity. We know who we are. We know what we believe in, and we know what we do and what we care about. And so that drives us. That sustains us going forward. If I could add another enabler for a dignified life is know who you are, know what you believe in, and surround yourself with people who believe the same things. And it's our privilege to be in the crazy angels that have a shared sense of values and shared direction. That's a great enabler as well. You're not alone. Thereby, Nediva, I wanted to ask Levi, any other reflections or
Yeah.
learning because you represent so many young creators that are looking around and saying, "Whoa, what's happening?" Sunos or Udio can make a song in 2 minutes. What does that mean for me? Or this
Yeah.
AI can do a video or a graphic arts piece in 30 seconds. What does that mean for you? Any reflections um,
Well,
in
certainly.
your
Yeah,
experience?
yeah, yeah. I mean, I've been feeling the same thing that David has mentioned before, which is the necessity to elevate your creativity to something AI can do. And it becomes sort of the center question, uh, I think, for many creatives now. And I was actually curious to ask you, David, what do you imagine with, creating something that is beyond what AI can do? Like, how would you advise young musicians today, young artists today to approach this level?
I mean, that's I realize it's like easier said than done, but
Yeah,
I suppose that, okay, I'll give you a small little example. A client that I'd worked for before asked me, is it possible to make music in a genre that does not yet exist? And without hesitation, I said, of course it is. And he said, really? Like, he was all excited. And I was like, yeah, give me a week to sit with it and I'll do it. Now, here's what I did. Again, this is just one idea of many. I'll tell you how I did it when somebody said, can you make a new genre? What I did is I looked to this ancient, well, not really that ancient, but a 70-year-old instrument called the mellotron, which was famously used in Strawberry Fields Forever by the Beatles. And by that point, the mellotron had already been around 10 or 15 years by the time they made that song. It sort of has like those backward sounding flutes. Um, anyway, it's an old instrument that was sort of the predecessor to the sampler, what we call a sampler now. So it could play cellos and violins, but the thing is, they sounded like just listen to Strawberry Fields Forever by the Beatles and listen to those flutes at the beginning, and that's the mellotron. And so even Paul McCartney did a pitch fade when coming into the main part of the song because it begins with the flutes.
Yeah.
And anyway, he was even using the mellotron in a way that it wasn't 100% meant to be used. So, number one, use technology in ways that it was never meant to be used. That's step one. Now, what I did was I took the mellotron instrument because it's been sampled over the years and it's very easy to do samples because it was all tape banks. Just hit play on the tape bank and digitize it. So I composed music that emotionally suited the game and the narrative. But then what I did was with the using the mellotron as my only instrument. So I said, all right, no other instruments, only mellotron. But then I said you have unlimited use of modern digital signal processing. So modern reverbs, modern compressors, modern effects delays, modern phasers and flangers, and all the modern things that we can do to enhance music and make it sound better. So taking the old, and Pascal, has said this a million times on this
Yeah.
podcast, taking it old and then making it new in a fresh way. So I think that's one way. So yeah, another way, again, this is getting a little techy, but for any, producers out there who know what convolution reverb is, which is for those that don't know, it's literally reverb that's based on a physical sample. And usually they use a clap or a spark or something with a sharp transient to then make reverb. And they record the reverb, take out the snap, and then you add a guitar or a bass or whatever you want, and you get the reverb of that specific space. Well, I said to myself one day, well, what if we don't put an impulse response in there? What if I were to put a cello in there? What would happen? And it just blew my mind what happened. And I couldn't even believe it. And I made a soundtrack that I'm very proud of that if anybody wants to listen to, it's from a game called Link Twin. And if you listen to the music in that game, you'll hear these very eerie, metallic sounding strings that just are really strange and otherworldly. And I did it all through similar process of taking things from an old PCM 80, an old TR 909 drum machine, combining those two, feeding that into the impulse response, then sending strings in. And then I got this result, these very eerie, strange, otherworldly, high metallic string sounds. And I have never really heard anything like that before. So that is definitely, I can say with certainty, something that AI has never been trained on and never will be trained on ever because it's my secret sauce. Only I know it. I've never told another living human being exactly how I did it, and it'll die with me.
That's such a great story. Yeah.
Touche, touche, OpenAI. Take
So,
that.
so you're using technology then, David, to create
Exactly.
something new.
Precisely.
So I think that the bigger point is we use technology. We don't turn our backs to it or get bitter and say F you, OpenAI or Sunos or Udio. So we use technology, but we use technology. My view is that we use technology for projects we care about in a team that we care about. So we use technology to uh, help us with the marketing, with the podcast, with the social media content, to understand our audience better, what's the size of the audience demographic, etc., to create logos, to create images, to enhance our music. I would not recommend using AI to create the music. That's not what David's talking about. I
No.
believe in the blank page or the silence, and the human fills that. And then we can
And
use AI to refine, perhaps. So,
in
is
other
that what you're
words,
saying?
I would
Yeah.
be.
well, in other words, I think we cannot conflate technology with AI. AI is AI and modern technology is technology. I have never used AI for anything other than to help me write a recommendation letter, which mine was better anyway. So, yeah, the other quick thing, if I can just jump in
Yeah, yeah.
to Levi's question, another fantastic exercise for any young creative. Okay. I'll use the context of music, but this can apply to any creative field. So go into whatever everybody has like a flagship product that they use. So
Mhm.
some people have like the Creative Cloud from Adobe, So in the music space, we have, Logic Pro or, Native Instruments Complete, these sort of complete packages that, give us all the tools that we need. Spend literally 3 to 4 hours and find the worst, and I mean the worst, crappiest sounds that you have ever heard in your life that are completely useless. And you'd like, oh my God, why did they put that in here? It's so terrible. The worst, terriblest, most worstest sound you've ever heard. Find 4 or 5 of these terrible and then write the best damn music you have ever written, because what this will teach you is how to overcome even the limitations of bad technology, and you might come up with something that is truly amazing. And again, like the Mellotron, I would never use any of those sounds as a replacement to a full string section ever, but that was the secret sauce I needed to make this new genre. And for those who are hanging on the edge of their seat, the client loved it and agreed, I have never heard anything like this in my life. So it's doable.